Hey, this is Nat, and we're off our couch in Tallahassee, Florida, in North Florida, in the Florida Panhandle, visiting the Tallahassee Museum. The Tallahassee Museum is an interesting blend of history, adventure, wildlife, and nature, all located on 52 acres. The museum is the only place in Florida, too, where you can see a zoological collection dedicated to indigenous wildlife, and we will see that in this video. Also, at this museum, you can view 14 historical buildings, one which includes the home of George Washington's great-grandniece, and we will tour those as well. There are sinkholes, butterfly gardens, zip line and aerial courses, dinosaur sculptures, and more. We'll be walking all throughout the museum along with all of you, taking in as much history, adventure, and nature that we possibly can. And as you've already heard and seen, there's a lot, so let's get started. We will talk discounts first, as we normally do. There are combo tickets, discounted rates if you plan to do the museum and the treetop adventures. The website link is in the description for those rates, as well as general admission prices and membership information. Right here in the front is a dinosaur, as I'm sure you've already figured out, an Apatosaurus, and this dinosaur is part of the Jim Gary collection. The sculptor Jim Gary created these dinosaurs from discarded automobile parts, and this exhibit has been used in films, plays, and operas. It served as exhibits for auto shows and racing events as well, and now some of the collection is here at the Tallahassee Museum. So let's keep an eye out. It shouldn't be too hard for more sculptures, and pay attention to the details too, because the purpose of the automobile parts corresponds to the purpose of the bodies, which means upper and lower control arms are legs, rocker arms form vertebrae, and brake shoes are now feet. How cool is that? That's a great way to learn some anatomy, isn't it? It is time to see some nature, some wildlife first, the snakes. Here is a Florida cottonmouth, a venomous snake found all throughout Florida, every county. Also in this area, there is a Florida pine snake. And I like how in this exhibit, there are seats where you can sit and look at the snakes because they are quite active. Also within this exhibit, they do daily animal encounters. Earlier, there were juvenile alligators that you can pet, and staff are available to give information and answer questions. And we have made it to the last animal encounter of the day, which is concerning the gopher tortoises, a very important keystone species. Burrows they dig can be up to 40 feet long and 10 feet deep, and therefore over 350 other species depend on these burrows for survival. And the gopher tortoises that are here are non-releasable. Some have missing limbs, damaged carapaces, and other issues that make these tortoises unable to survive in the wild. There are still plenty more animals to see, so we will head now to Wildlife Florida. As mentioned previously, this is a collection of animals native to Florida. So along this path, we will see birds of prey like the bald eagle and the great horned owl. And to practice our bird flight skills, there is a forward flight simulator that allows us to mimic the action of a bird's wings, forward and down, then backwards and up. We will continue on the boardwalk now to see more animals native to Florida, and we'll also be walking under the aerial courses, but we'll see more of the courses and more of the action later. Back to the animals, we're coming across white-tailed deer now, wild turkeys, striped skunks, and foxes that rest in trees. I didn't even know that was a thing. We are looking for the foxes, but the one fox that we do see is actually on the ground right now. Continuing to walk through Wild Florida, it's really pretty here, really pretty, with all of the beautiful bald cypress trees resting in the water while reaching high into the sky. The deer are definitely enjoying the water, and so is the dinosaur, the Plesiosaurus. Another artistic and prehistoric creation from Jim Gary's collection. We do have more of the boardwalk to cover though, more creatures to see, maybe even more dinosaurs, I don't know, but definitely more creatures native to Florida, like the alligator, of course, and the Florida panther, the official Florida state animal. Just to name a few more animals that you'll see here along the boardwalk in Wildlife Florida. There are 14 historical buildings here, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, so we should get started taking a look at those. We will cut through the butterfly garden, a cute and lively shortcut filled with a lot of green, along with dashes of some red, and make our way to the Seaboard Airline Caboose. This caboose was in operation from 1924, starting with the Florida East Coast Railroad, and it made its last run from Jacksonville, Florida to here, the Tallahassee Museum, in 1963. The informational board that we were just in front of was saying that modern electronics and communication methods phased out the need for cabooses. The caboose was the conductor's office, and his job was to look ahead for trouble and stop the train if necessary. So now that's no longer needed. Now that I think about it, there aren't any cabooses. I think I only know about them from little children's books I used to read to my kids when they were young. We live in Jacksonville and the trains are out a lot, ruining my plans to be on time or almost on time to those places. And yeah, I have never seen a caboose on any of those trains. Well, it is time for school now. I mean, we've been learning anyways, right? And the Concord Schoolhouse that we're walking into served a very special place in history and in educational pursuits. This schoolhouse was built in 1897 for the children of those who were formerly enslaved during Reconstruction here in America. And next door is Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church. This church holds a historic first as the first regularly organized black church in the state of Florida, established in 1851. And outside of the church is a cemetery. And another historic building, all within a short walking distance, is the former home of the great-grandniece of George Washington, Bellevue Plantation, owned and managed by Catherine Murrah. This home talks about the management of the plantation, Murrah's life as a socialite plantation owner and wife of a prince, as well as the life of the enslaved people who were here. This exhibit allows you to try to lift the weight of the water that enslaved children as young as 7 were expected to carry. And as you can see, this is not easy. My son is older than 7, much older than 7, and does martial arts, and this is heavy. And I tried it too, and wow, very difficult. It is hard to imagine. Upstairs, there is more information about the plantation owner, Catherine Murrah, more information about the enslaved people who lived here also. In addition to the home, there is the plantation kitchen. It is not the original. This is a reproduction based on other kitchens in the region that existed during that time period. This is also a reproduction. This is an example of the cabins that the enslaved people would have lived in that were at Bellevue Plantation. When the plantation was still here, there were actually 8 cabins here. There are more historical buildings and more to see after we get past this sinkhole. And if you are adventurous, I am not, but I did see others venturing and descending into the sinkhole. Okay, so on our way to see more historical buildings, there are more gardens here too. This is a rain garden that we're passing now. We are approaching the Guest Animals exhibit now, and if you are patient and look in the back, you can see one sleeping. The special guests are foxes. They are rescues from a fur farm, I read. And here in this large open space is the Tree to Tree Adventures, at least the starting point, because we saw platforms all around the museum while we were walking. But this seems to be where all the action is though. The playground is also up ahead, more action. And this is where the cafe is, where you can refuel after all of that action. And here's a look at the menu. I am honestly impressed with the selection and prices. The affordability and variety makes it easier to spend the entire day here. And that's definitely what you need, the entire day, I would say. We are running across more sculptures from the Jim Gary's collection in front of the Phipps Gallery. And within the Phipps Gallery is a collection of taxidermy. And we're also learning about culling, the process of killing to control overpopulation, something I was not aware of, along with the various animals that are on display here and mounted. We will walk the farm now, where there are many more historical buildings, as well as farm animals, of course. Woo, this hog is tired. I know the feeling, yeah. There is also a Jersey cow here on the farm. This farm is named Big Bend Farm, and this area was created from structures from various farms in Calhoun, Liberty, and Wakulla counties. The McNair Black Farmhouse that we're standing in front of now is one of the best surviving examples of cracker architecture in the region, the Sun States. This area is more than just an example of architecture at that time. It is also an example of life for planters, farmers, and those who were once enslaved and were now free and rebuilding after the Civil War. And since it is a farm, there are more animals, goats and horses. And it has been a full day here at the Tallahassee Museum. A day chock full of history, nature, animals, and still more. Tell us, what is your favorite part of the Tallahassee Museum? Have you visited before? And are you planning a trip to Tallahassee and the Tallahassee Museum? And if you did find this video helpful with your planning, please hit the thumbs up button. Please let us know. We have been wanting to visit the Tallahassee Museum for a while, and today was a free entrance day. So we got the chance to finally check it out and check it out at no cost. However, though, I find it very affordable. Looking at the prices online and the variety, all the different things that you can do here at this museum, I think it's an excellent value. Of course, we want to hear your thoughts though. Let us know in the comments, please. We also would love for you to continue to join us off the couch. Each and every Saturday, we are off the couch for a new adventure. And if you've been off the couch with us for the past few weeks, you know we've been bouncing around North and Central Florida. So somewhere in that area, that's where we will be. So subscribe, please. If you yet to join us, continue to keep getting off the couch with us for our next adventure. As always, thank you so much for getting off the couch with us here in Tallahassee. Thank you so much for exploring the 52 acres of the Tallahassee Museum along with us. All of your support, the likes, comments, shares, and feedback, all of you join us off the couch week after week is what makes these adventures possible, so thank you. Until next week, click on the video to see another one of our experiences. Thanks for watching.